Every day, countless emergency responders and disabled vehicles line our highways, making them hazardous zones for both the people in need of assistance and the passing drivers. The simple act of slowing down and moving over for emergency vehicles is a law mandated across all 50 states. It can mean the difference between life and death. Earlier, I chatted with AAA's public relations specialist, Treanor, about the importance of the move over laws. John, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, a super important topic, and I didn't realize how many people don't even know that this law exists. You can't follow it if you don't know what it is. So what is the slow down and move over law?
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't follow a law you don't know exists, and 1/3 of Americans, that's the estimate from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, 1/3 don't know these exist. So it's a very simple law. If you see cars in distress on the side of the road, if you see flashers on or emergency workers, slow down, and if it's safe to do so, move over a lane.
You know, my dad's a firefighter, so to me this is really important because they're on the side of the road, but it's also people whose car may have broken down. Maybe their kids had to get out of the car. It's all kind of people on the side of the road. So can you tell me just kind of what the goal of this campaign is to get the word out there and keep those people safe?
Yeah, listen, this is National Slow Down Move Over, National Move Over Day. Every state has a move over law. They're all different, though. In California, it's one of the most comprehensive, which means it covers everyone from police and emergency workers to Caltrans workers to cars on the side of the road and tow truck drivers, anybody working on the side of the roadway or in distress on the side of the roadway. What the point of this day is just to raise awareness because, again, as we mentioned, you can't follow a law that you don't know exists.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you describe some of the law in the state of California and how it works, what people should do?
The most important thing is slowing down, and there's a reason for that, right? The office that these people work on, that emergency workers and tow truck drivers and police officers work on, is the side of the roadway. You are very close to passing cars, and cars move at very high speeds, which means in a blink of an eye, you're passing by an accident scene or you're passing by a person working. It's too quick for you to react to. So if you slow down, you give yourself more time to react to what's happening next to you. You give those workers a chance to react to you coming. And if you can move over a lane, you give them that much more room to do their job safely.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to keep them safe. I just learned this when researching about this topic today, was how fast a car can travel within like that, so fast. And you don't realize, like, oh, I could just look at my cell phone. I could just eat this bagel, whatever it might be. Can you speak to how much faster a car travels than maybe people realize?
Sure, you know, move over laws are for every roadway, so obviously speed limits change, but what we would think about, we really think of those highway speeds, the 65 or up speeds. You're traveling hundreds of feet per second in that short a time span, which means if you see an accident on the side of the road or you see a worker on the side of the road, oftentimes you don't really have a chance to recognize them. Think about it. Next time you drive past someone, you can't really identify who that person is. You can't recognize the person individually because you're moving that quickly.
Yeah, scary, especially for people who maybe are related to or know people who work on the side of the road. I know a lot of the construction happens at nighttime, which I'm assuming is to prevent things like this from happening. But can you just speak to AAA's message that you'd want to give to people who are driving? What would you say to them?
Well, listen, you mentioned that nighttime, and that's true. They do nighttime construction because there's fewer cars out there. That's also to stop traffic jams and things like that, but that means visibility is even lower. And a lot of these accidents happen at nighttime or in bad weather when, again, visibility is lower and you can't really see what's happening, which means moving over and slowing down is that much more important at nighttime. Our message to drivers is simple. Look at the people on the screen right now. They are working at their office, which is the side of the roadway. We want to make sure they get home safely because their mission is to make sure those drivers get home safely. You could do a lot just by slowing down and moving over, and it could be the difference between someone going home and someone going to the hospital.
Yeah, I know that people are maybe distracted by things that they don't even realize they're distracted by. You know, in good faith, they're doing something that they don't realize could be impairing their driving. Do you have any recommendations or just like things that people should be aware of, maybe that they're doing in their cars that you guys see most crashes being caused by?
Listen, even good drivers get distracted, right? You're in your car often, you take the same trip, you've seen the same stop signs and traffic, you know how to do it, which means you're a little bit more comfortable drinking some coffee or answering a text message, or if you have kids in the car, like I often do, talking to them and making sure they're quiet down and giving them the things they need. Don't do it. It's easy to come across an accident or come across someone working on the side of the road, and that is a new thing. That it breaks your routine, and you need to have focus on that. So what we recommend is make sure the GPS is hooked up before you leave. Make sure things stay in cup holders when they need to be in cup holders. Make sure everyone has what they need before you leave. Remove the distractions because you don't know what's coming at 65 miles an hour next to you.
Yeah, really scary. I have AAA. If people want to get AAA and get involved, how can they do that?
SimpleAAA.com is the website. We have branches all across the country, so you can come in and say hi to us. And more information about move over laws can be found on AAA.com as well.
To learn more, you can go to AAA and the website at AAA.com. We'll also have a link on our website, liveinthebay.tv.